What's up, everybody? You are listening to the Think Big podcast. I'm your host, Ayelet Polonsky, also known as your manifestation mentor. This podcast is designed to help you create a manifestation mindset by learning how to think big. You'll learn how to use your thoughts to co-create your reality. Let's get into today's episode. I recently finished teaching a 5-week virtual manifestation course. I received some feedback from a number of the participants who had privately messaged me to let me know how life-changing the course was for them. Feeling pretty proud of myself for being able to offer this to my participants, I decided to share some of the positive feedback with my dad, the one person who I've always looked to for approval. The first thing he responded with was, "You need to take these testimonials and share them with your social media to help you grow your business." My whole body in that moment went into fight or flight mode. I tensed up and I felt my body heat rising. What exactly did my dad do to cause such an intense reaction in me? Did he do something wrong? The answer is no. He didn't do anything wrong. He was just the messenger to help me learn and heal an unresolved trauma that's been hiding in my subconscious. I took a few deep breaths, and once I gathered myself and came back to a state of equilibrium, I put some pieces of the puzzle together. His statement, "Share your testimonials on social media," simply activated an old memory. It took me back to 25-year-old me when I had returned from leading a retreat in Mexico, and I shared with a mentor of mine that the retreat was a huge success. He asked me how many people came to the retreat, so I told him 28 people from around the world flew in to spend the week together. The first words that came from his mouth were, "Only 28? Why not 100? That experience triggered me to my core. The story I told myself about myself in that moment was, I'm not enough and nothing I do is ever enough. But my I'm not enough story didn't originate from my 25-year-old trauma. It began much earlier. The root of the belief I'm not enough started as early as 8 years old with my first crush on a boy named Tommy. He approached me during recess one day and whispered into my ear, "Ayelet, I know you like me, but I don't like you. Not even a little bit. Get that through your thick head." That moment, a subconscious message was planted into my mind that said, "Ayelet, you're not enough. Not pretty enough, not good enough, not worthy enough." In that moment, I signed a subconscious contract with the universe that said, I will never let anyone make me feel that way again. This meant putting up huge walls and barriers the moment anyone made me think I'm not enough. The first experience of an emotionally traumatic event gets locked in the body, and in a way, it gets locked in time and resurfaces in the future when any experience even remotely reminds us of the original trauma. Emotional trauma is a story that took place in our past, exists in our present, and is blocking our future from manifesting the way we'd like it to. Trauma can prevent us from getting that job, attracting our soulmate, feeling inner peace. So what did I do to break down the walls and barriers that eventually allowed me to meet my husband and to create a healthy and wholesome relationship? Well, besides going to and being an advocate for therapy, I began my healing journey internalizing the belief that I am not my trauma. I am not the story I told myself about myself when the initial traumatic experience occurred. In other words, just because Tommy didn't like me, does that mean I wasn't good enough? Just because my mentor said, "Why only 28 people and not 100 at your retreat?" Does that mean I'm not good enough? Just because my dad's response to my recent testimonials was, post them on social media for the world to see. Does that mean that my self-worth can only come from other people's approval and recognition of my accomplishments? No, of course not. I just want to add a side note here in saying that my dad is my biggest fan and greatest supporter. When I got super honest with myself, I came to the understanding that most of my reactive and defensive tendencies were sourced in beliefs that weren't even true. This knowing was my key to emotional freedom. It's what offered me the completion I was looking for. Knowing that I am able to rewrite the story of my past and enter into a future filled with new possibilities is what afforded me the ability to have healthy relationships with people and to not take things so personally. You are not your limiting beliefs. You are not the false stories you told yourself as a child. You are not your trauma. You are a beautiful, bright, pure soul capable of happiness and freedom. Know this in your heart and you will begin to free yourself for the rest of your life. Sharing is caring, so if you liked what you heard, share this with a friend. And as always, happy manifesting.
If you enjoyed this episode and would like more manifestation inspiration, tune in every Monday for a new episode. Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out on an episode. What you get out of this show means the world to me, so I invite you to leave an honest review. If you want more, you can follow me on social media at Ayelet Polonsky. I also have a number of virtual courses to offer if you're ready to take this material to the next level and start embodying a manifestation mindset. I teach you how to heal past trauma, experience the most joy out of life, and rewrite your future so you can feel good more often. Simply head on over to ayeletpolonsky.com for a variety of resources you can start taking advantage of immediately. See you next week. And as always, think big and happy manifesting.